Some time ago, when he was younger, Chibiko had decorated the walls of his house with lots of stickers. He had used all sorts of stickers. He had farm animals and dinosaurs, superheroes and racing cars, cartoon characters and different planets. His favorite one was of a manta ray that glowed in the dark at night once he had turned the lights off. The stickers were a bit old now though, and so Chibiko decided that it was about time that he peeled them off. He started with a dinosaur, but when he peeled it, oh no! He had peeled some of the paint away too. He peeled off a few more stickers, and then some more, and then even more. Each time he peeled a sticker off, he peeled some paint off as well. By the time he was finished, his wall was covered in spots where there wasn't any paint anymore. This just won't do, Chibiko thought to himself. A wall needs to be nicely painted. And so he went out to buy some paint. While at the hardware store and trying to decide if he wanted red, blue, or yellow paint for his walls, Chibiko ran into Danny. "Not sure what color you want?" Danny asked. "No, I'm not," Chibiko answered. "I like red because it makes me think of yummy apples and cherries. I like blue because it's like looking at the sky on a sunny day. And I like yellow because it's like sand on the beach." "Why not buy one of each and then decide when you're back in your house?" Danny suggested. "I can help you paint." Chibiko was grateful for both Danny's suggestion and his offer of help. And so they bought 3 tins of paint and 2 brushes and went back to Chibiko's home together. Once they were inside, they decided that maybe they could paint different rooms in new, different colors. They painted the bedroom yellow because the sun was yellow, and a yellow room would also make Chibiko think of sunflowers. After this, they got out the red paint and started to paint Chibiko's kitchen, because red wasn't just the color of apples and cherries, but also of strawberries and rhubarb and tomato soup, and many other delicious things. Last but not least, they painted his living room blue, because it was the biggest room, and because things like the ocean are also very, very big. When they were finished, they decided that they deserved a drink of orange juice. The only problem was, Danny couldn't see Chibiko anywhere. "Where are you?" Danny asked. "Over here," Chibiko replied. But when Danny looked at where Chibiko's voice had come from, he could see nothing but blue. "I can't see you," Danny said. "But I'm right here," Chibiko replied. "Let's just go to the kitchen and get our orange juice," Danny said. When they went to the kitchen, they realized what the problem was. Chibiko had painted himself blue. All of that painting in different colors had made him confused. "Let's just paint the rooms again tomorrow. Maybe to the same colors that they were before we started," Chibiko said, as he put some ice into 2 glasses to make sure that their juice would be nice and cold. Chibiko was bored. He sat on the sofa, stared at the wall, and sighed. He had spent the whole afternoon watching TV, and it wasn't even good TV. It was boring TV. He had been watching the television simply because he couldn't think of anything more interesting to do than watching television. And now he was wishing that he hadn't spent so much time watching. He could have drawn some pictures, or learned to cook something new, or tried to play the guitar. The only problem was, he didn't know what he wanted to draw, whether he wanted to make a green curry or perhaps bake a cake, or indeed what song he wanted to play. Perhaps I could go somewhere, he thought to himself as he got up and looked out of his window. But the afternoon was growing late, and the moon was now already faintly visible in the sky. It would soon be nighttime, and the night was too dark for Chibiko to comfortably go out and about. He looked back at his sofa. He looked out of the window again, and then he had an idea. Chibiko picked up his phone and called Danny. "Are you free tomorrow?" he asked. "I have an idea for something we can do." Chibiko went to his storeroom and got all of the empty cardboard boxes that he could find. He then made a simple dinner for himself that may have contained a few too many onions, and then he went to bed. He was looking forward to what he and his friend would do the following day. The next morning, Chibiko woke up the second his alarm sounded. He was very excited. He took a shower, ate breakfast, and brushed his teeth. Then, his doorbell rang. Danny had arrived exactly on time. "What are we doing?" Danny asked. "Follow me," Chibiko said, and led his friend to the pile of boxes. "Can you help me bring these out to the backyard?" he said. And so, Danny and Chibiko spent the morning moving boxes to Chibiko's backyard and arranging them. They took a break to eat lemon-flavored cookies and drink mango lassi. And then in the afternoon, they moved the sofa. It was very heavy, but Chibiko promised that it would be worth the effort. At last, they were done. "We did it!" Chibiko exclaimed. "Did what?" Danny asked. "Look," Chibiko said, pointing to the body of boxes surrounding his sofa. "We built a spaceship." "Wow!" Danny said. "Can we ride it?" "Of course we can," Chibiko replied. And so, as the afternoon turned to evening and the moon slowly rose in the sky, Chibiko and Danny sat comfortably on the sofa of their very own spaceship and went on a space adventure together. One morning, after eating breakfast and brushing his teeth, Chibiko sat himself on his sofa with a plonk, picked up the remote control and pointed it at his television. Nothing happened. He pressed a few more buttons before he remembered that there was a hole in the front of his TV. It was broken, and he would have to wait until he bought a new one before he could watch Gumdrop Gumboots, Ninja Hot Dog Squad, News Grumps, or any other of his favorite shows. While he was wondering about what kind of new TV to buy, or if he could get this one fixed, Chibiko's phone rang and he answered it. "Hello, this is Chibiko," he said. "Hi Chibiko, it's Danny," his triangular friend answered. I was just wondering if you had anything that you were planning to do for today. Well, I was planning to watch some TV shows, Chibiko said. But what? Danny asked. My TV doesn't work. I broke it, Chibiko told him. Don't worry, Danny said, suddenly excited. I have an idea. What idea? Chibiko asked. Just wait and see. I'll be there in a couple of minutes, Danny said, and then hung up the phone. Whatever was Danny planning to do? Chibiko wondered. Soon, the doorbell rang. Ding dong! When Chibiko opened the door, he saw that Danny had brought with him a big cardboard box, a pair of scissors, sticky tape, lots of paper, and different colored paints. We'll make our own TV show, Danny exclaimed, and they both went inside. They ate some pork adobo for lunch together, and then set about making everything that they would need to make their own television show. They spent the whole afternoon cutting and measuring and sticking and painting, until finally they were ready, just before sundown. Ready? Danny asked. Ready, Chibiko said. Good evening, people of Saturn. It's time for the daily news. Today was peaceful in the morning, but around lunchtime, some dinosaurs jumped over from the rings and started to eat all of the food in one family's fridge. Here's what one of them had to say. It was really scary. There were so many of them, and they were very big. Thankfully, I was able to keep one pizza from them by hiding it under the sofa. It is believed that a Tyrannosaurus, Brachiosaurus, and Triceratops were the main fridge raiders. A Stegosaurus is believed to have hurt its leg after landing. It is now being treated at Saturn Central Hospital. In other news, the great annual ice cream ring race is set to start tomorrow. This is a traditional race in which Martian wombats drive cars made out of ice cream around the rings of Saturn for 3 weeks. The wombat with the most laps at the end of this time will be the champion, which means that he or she gets to eat all of the ice cream cars. Last year's winner, Wemble, seen here looking very happy, is this year's favorite as well. Ding 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 ding! And that's all we have time for tonight. Remember people, stay safe and sleep well. You're a natural, Danny said. We should do this again one day. That might be fun, Chibiko thought as he saw Danny out before it got too dark, and then went to his room and put himself to bed. It can be fun to do things, instead of just watching them sometimes. And then he went to sleep. One day, Chibiko woke up feeling a little bit cold. At first, he was worried that he might be sick, but when he got out of bed and looked out of the window, he noticed that there were white dots fluttering down outside his house. It was snowing. Feeling very excited, Chibiko took a nice hot shower, ate some breakfast, brushed his teeth, and then searched his closet for something warm to wear. No? Nope. Perhaps not. Something else, maybe? No. Yeah, oh dear. Chibiko dug and dug and dug through his closet, making a terrible mess of his bedroom as he did so. until finally he found what he was looking for. Ah, that's better. Now that he was properly dressed, Chibiko could go outside and play in the snow. He opened his front door and walked out into the winter wonderland that had come to visit his home. Much to Chibiko's surprise, even though the ground was white and snow was falling from the sky, it was still quite sunny outside. What a nice day it was turning out to be. While he had seen snow in TV shows and movies before, this was the first time that it had ever snowed in Chibiko's town. He wondered if he should go to the park and see if people were having a snowball fight. But he was a bit scared to wander too far from his house when it was snowing so much. And so he instead decided to fall back into the snow and make an angel. Poof! Ouch! Chibiko had always imagined that snow was soft, like white cotton candy from the sky, only less sticky. It turned out that it was a little bit harder and a bit more icy than he had been expecting. Still, it had cushioned his fall enough, and so he waved his arms up and down and created a beautiful snow angel. "Nice angel," a voice said. "Want to try making something else?" Chibiko sat up and saw Danny standing beside what looked like the base of a snowman. "Sure," Chibiko said. "What do you want me to do?" "Can you roll a nice big snowball to use as a body?" Danny asked. "I'll make the head." Chibiko gave a salute like he had seen on a movie once. "Can do, Captain," he said, and then set about rolling a nice big snowball to use as the snowman's body. As he rolled, he wondered what they might name their snowman. Tom, Brett, Angelus, Yuki. Oh, what if it was a snow woman? Jessica? Lara? Marlene? And what would they dress it in? Maybe he had a spare scarf? Did they have a top hat? Would a snowman or woman want to wear a jacket? Perhaps he shouldn't worry about what it would wear until after he had figured out what he and Danny would use for things like buttons, eyes, and a nose. Did he have any carrots in the house? Would celery make an okay nose, or would it just look strange? Maybe he could use pieces of chocolate for the buttons and the eyes. But he wondered if Danny would be tempted to eat those. He knew that he himself would be. "Chibiko! Chibiko, where are you?" Chibiko could hear Danny calling his name. "I'm just here," Chibiko answered. "Where?" Danny asked. "Here," Chibiko said again. "Oh," Danny said. Chibiko had spent so much time thinking while he was rolling his snowball that instead of helping to make a snowman, he had turned himself into one.